Hey, what's up, my truth seekers? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. Guys, look, I have some more clips that I want to go ahead and upload with Abby and myself where we was just breaking down Black history, guys. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Even though this right here, this is the right time because they gave us this month a farewell of Black history, which I already had talked about all this right here, but it's all right because we already know what time it is, okay? And he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. So, guys, make sure you watch this video because I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Do I think that I'm better or know more than you? No. Is that we are sick and tired of these watered down messages. Like I said, no more hocus pocus. This generation right here is seeking truth. No more of these whitewashed lies.
For hundreds of years, we've been the most hated. But within that hatred comes the hypocrisy of loving our culture. You've made trillions off of our motherfucking culture. You know that. You've made money off our culture. Let's be real. 100%. You made money off our culture. White musicians, all of them have made money off the Black culture.
So the question is why they are so afraid of this great awakening where they will even use our very own people to chop us down.
That is because after 400 years of slavery with the European and 1400 with the Arab, not to mention the hidden Asian slavery that went on in the background throughout all of this. After that period of time, we have become so afraid, so submissive to the ideals of these alien races that walk among us. It's we are suffering Stockholm syndrome, right?
Wow.
So they made sure and it's not by accident, it was intentional. Throughout those years of slavery, oppression, colonization, wars, throughout that time, they ensure that there was a divide created among us where you have the house slave, you have the field slave. The field slaves are the one that is most likely to be the ones waking up and the ones that are trying to pull us out of our own downfall. The house slave, being that they don't have to suffer the burning sun and the picking of the cotton, they're inside the house of the slave master, cleaning, making tea, and so forth. And they feel so comfortable being the chosen Negro to be in the house of the oppressor. They don't want that to end, right? So they are suffering a much more deep-rooted Stockholm syndrome where they actually believe the lies that they are being fed, believe the fantasy that they're living. So anything that threatens that, they're going to tear it down. So now our oppressors, our slave masters, the aliens that are walking among us no longer have to even break a sweat or worry about the things
Yes.
that we do in uprising. They know the lap dogs, the house slave, the little pets that they have among us that looks like us, act like us, and share the same DNA as us will do the job without even being asked. And that is what we are experiencing today with the great divide and the disagreement and the arguments. So now they don't call us racist anymore. Our own call us racist, right?
Wow. This is powerful. And I just pray that all this information right here, it doesn't go over our people head because this right here is much needed. And make sure you go ahead and check out Abby because I truly believe she is set in this place for such a time like this. And we already know, guys, this is the year of exposing. This is the year of awakening. And some of us, we're going to be left behind. And like I say, nothing is new under the sun. What we are going through, our forefathers already been through it. So we should be able to pass this test. And like I always say, nothing is new under the sun. All this right here, what you see, it happened to our forefathers, when they were in the wilderness and how they was crying because they thought when they were in bondage that it was better than where they was going, and it's still with our people today. We think where we are right now in little old Babylon, we are still in bondage. These people only going to throw you a little few crumbs just to shut you up. So let's go ahead and continue and hear what this powerful sister is saying. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying.
That is correct. And the sad part of this, the most sad part of this is that in the awakening or in the uprising, in the raising of our frequency and our vibration, we will have to shake off a lot of our brothers and sisters and let them be with these slave masters, with the oppressors. We will try to pull them up with us, but they will be dragging us down with them. And when we realize that is happening, we have to be strong enough, right, where we let go, right, and let them fall over the cliff with their
Wow.
slave master, because the judgment is upon them. They will fall. The sun will be heating up more and more. When they speak about hell, hell is not like you're going somewhere else for hell. Hell will be here on earth. And the only reason why it's called hell is because there are persons here that cannot stand the sun. And the intensifying of the sun in the near future is what is going to cause them to burn in hell, literally here on earth.
And let's talk about that part right there. I like how it is so much. I mean, so much to go ahead and cover it, man. This is awesome. And you just don't know how you are a blessing. You are, you're just a blessing, especially in such a time like this.
That is correct, my sister. It's Stockholm syndrome. That is a psychological um, term for what we are going through and what we are manifesting in our own self destruction. And yes, it's a remnant. When you say remnant, persons will think that, oh, that sounds like it's going to be 10, 20, 100, maybe a
Mhm.
thousand. A remnant of us can be millions.
Do you think that remnant is what the book of Revelation is talking about? That 144,000? That's going to be the ones that's going to be able to cross through?
Right. So that 144,000 is symbolic. It's not the exact number, but
Mhm.
it would be the minimum that would be crossing over. It will not be less than that amount, because we're billions. Do not follow what the worldometer say about the number of um, blacks in the earth. We are billions upon billions. That 8 billion population on the earth that they claim, that is not true, right? That's
Mhm.
just the numbers that they decide to report on, right? We are billions. So when you say a remnant of us, a remnant of us will be millions just the same. It can be millions, right? Because we are so much, a remnant of us can be 1 million, it can be 2 million, because there's billions of us. But it's still sad, because a remnant of us mean that there is still billions of us that will perish.
I just hope you guys can just see exactly, what's going on, because first it was a physical slavery that we was in. Now we are in what my sister described as a spiritual slavery. So we still in slavery, but
We are,
even though we don't have the shackles on, but we
right?
still have the shackles in our mind. So now it's a spiritual battle that we are fighting. Once we go ahead and shake off of those chains, then we can be able to come out. So that's where the Stockholm syndrome is coming from. And, to me, this right here, this is deep.
It is, because we look at the animals on a farm that is how much acres large, with a fence around it, and the animals are roaming free on the land. The animals don't think that they're in bondage, because they're able to roam free, but still they are not able to go beyond the fence of those acres of land. It's the same thing with us. We don't have
Mhm.
shackles on our foot, on our hands, as we did in time past, but we are not allowed to go outside of the fencing of our boundary that was set by us.
Wow, this make a whole lot of sense. It sounds like they still look at us as animals, and most likely that's why they would rather go ahead and build all these prisons, than build schools and hospitals and mental, places where our people can go so they can, help themselves. But they don't want to see us get up. They want to keep us still in bondage.
That is correct, which is why all our leaders throughout the time, they've always targeted them. Either they murder them or they have them locked up. And it's the
Yes.
same thing they do on the ground among us in our community. Anyone that shows a strong spirit, a strong will, a defiant um, character, they will target them because we're not awoken, or they weren't awoken. They turn that spirit or energy that they have with them, and they turn around and they commit crimes against their own, and then they end up in prison. But what they don't realize is that they had the spirit of a leader. They had the spirit of a king, of a general. And because they have no outlet to let it out in a righteous way, they default to the traps that were set up within our community. So they turn to drugs, they turn to other crimes.
Oh,
So now it's easy for them to end up in the prisons that were established to capture the strong-willed members within our community.
wow. So, in other words, they are still using the same method. They know that if they throw us in prison in cages, once we come back out, we're not going to be the same. So, pretty much nothing have changed. Like I say, the system is not broken. The system is only doing what the system is designed to do, because they know once, they come out, then the family's going to be broken. Wow, this is right here is what I call crafty counselors.
Right. Yeah. The system is not broken. And to say it's broken mean that at one point it was in a corrective state. It was never in a state where it wasn't doing what it's doing now. It has always been the way it is, and it is functioning the way it ought to. Black people only have civil rights. They don't have human rights today. The Fourth Amendment is what gave them some civil rights, right? It's like a privilege, it's a luxury. They can take it away from you, which is why the police can target you in a different way than how they target the Euro American, right? So African American can be treated differently from European American, and that is because the laws, literally the Fourth Amendment, is just giving us the privilege of some civil rights. It didn't give us human rights. We have not left slavery. Slavery has been repackaged, and they took the chain off our foot and say, if you behave, if you do what I say, and you don't violate anything or offend me, then you can stay out of chain, and you can walk from here to there. You can do this, you can do that, but you don't have the privilege to do 10 other things. And the minute you test the boundaries of that, you're going to be behind bars. And because they want to break down the family structure, the simplest thing any of our men do will land them behind bars, and there's no leniency when they go before the judge, because the goal is to put them behind bars, because that's how they make money. Prison is a private sector, and it makes lots of money.
So let's go ahead and talk about this right here, because that right there, man, that was a nugget. And I don't want this right here to go over our people head, where you had said that Black people, we have civil rights, but we don't have human rights. And do you think that's the reason why they do not want to give us reparation? Because they know that we are still in chains, we still bound, we still in bondage.
Right, exactly. If for them to give us reparation, they have to give us what all the other races, like, oh, you have the Jews, the Asian. They will have to cut a place on earth for us, right? Where we are sovereign, where we are self-governed, and that cannot happen. It's impossible to happen, and then they will keep their status. uh, we are supreme. We are the we are the cream of the crop. We are the best that this earth can produce. We connect
Now,
with the sun. We have talents beyond measures. If there's a level playing field, if they gave us reparation and there's a level playing field, but within the space of a decade, we will be ruling this earth and they will be submissive to us. They will not allow
Mhm.
that to happen.